All right, all right. Welcome everybody to another day of Read Rich and Righteous. We're reading Rich and Righteous: Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money, Manifestation in Your Mind. We've been reading together for over 6 weeks now. We started. What is that? What's this month? It's January. We started in November. I got a nudge from God to say, Jullien, read your book out loud. I gave it to you, and I need you to get it out to the people. And so here we are. I wrote this book at the beginning of COVID. I knew that the world was going to slip into scarcity consciousness, and that I had the solution in order to help people stay in abundance mindset. And over a 6 month period, this book was divinely downloaded to me and through me, waking up at 3 a.m. to write it. And in fact, as I read it to you, in many cases, I can't believe that I wrote this book because I feel like it was written through me. And so this is what happens when you are in alignment with God and you are obedient. And these are the beautiful things that come out when you are used as an instrument. We know that God is using us as an instrument. God is breathing life through us every single day. And there's no greater feeling in the world than actually being used by God and knowing that you are and being in alignment. So I quit my job January 9th at the bottom of the last recession, January 9th, 2009, January 9th, 2009 at the bottom of the last recession. And ever since then, my work, my business, everything, every area of my life has been expanding. And I know that's not true for everyone because they tap into the collective consciousness, which is talking about recession, which is talking about lack, which is talking about scarcity, which is talking about poverty. And so I don't tune into that frequency. And I want to make sure that you stay in the frequency of abundance and recognizing that one, you are a child of God, and that two, abundance is your birthright. And that's really what this is at the core, right? But of course, from there, once you recognize that abundance is your birthright, then you want to actually see manifestations of that in your life in the form of money and other forms of abundance. So this is the practice that we're going through. We're here at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every single weekday, reading about 4 to 8 pages in the book. And it's been an absolute blessing. Yesterday, we actually reached our all-time high. It won't be our all-time high. It won't stay that way, but we reached about 525 people on live concurrently. So just to know that people are waking up at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, people like Caesar waking up at 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to be here means that this is a great way to fill your cup at the beginning of your day before you actually go serve other people. You got to pour into yourself. And so thank you all for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. We know the power of the word appreciation in the financial sense, and we know it in the emotional sense. In financial sense, when a piece of real estate that I have appreciates, it increases in value. And the same for you from an emotional standpoint. I appreciate you. Right. There are other forms of currency beyond money that are actually more valuable than money. Money is actually one of the lowest forms of currency there is. Actually, it is. Cash is the lowest yielding asset in the entire world. But we've been taught to chase paper chase. And we've been taught to trade our most valuable thing, which is the currency and the energy that is in our body, for something that is a lot less valuable. Right. And so we want to get off of that. That's the rat race. And we want to start to learn how to manifest money with our mind, and manifest and multiply money with the power of our mind, not with our body and time. If you try to get money with your body and time, you're using limited resources to try to get something that is unlimited. If you try to get money with your body and time, you are using limited resources, which are your body and time, to try to get something that is unlimited. And so we want to break free from that. And that takes a lot of rewiring and programming in terms of how you even think about money to get to that level of wealth consciousness. Okay. Many of us start on the spectrum from poverty consciousness to wealth consciousness. I don't know where you are on that spectrum, but every day we are here to try to elevate you, to pour into your cup a little bit more, right? To elevate you to a higher level of consciousness when it comes to money. And wealth consciousness is when you move through life and you do not worry about money. Wealth consciousness is when you relate to money in the same way you relate to oxygen. Okay. I need everybody to take a pause and just take a deep breath. Not one of us here worried about whether there would be enough oxygen when we took in that breath. We trusted that our mother, father, God would give us everything that we needed in that moment, regardless of how many people took a breath in the entire world. When you relate to money in the same way, trusting and knowing that your mother, father, God is going to supply and meet your needs because you have work to do, because you have a purpose, because you're still breathing, then that is when you've elevated to wealth consciousness. And that's where we all want to be. And it's a powerful place to be because for some reason, somehow we created a system where many people's life decisions, daily decisions, in the moment decisions are dictated by this. How do we allow this piece of paper to have so much power? This flat piece of cotton, 75% cotton. You thought that slavery was over. Slavery is not over. This is modern day slavery. Modern day slavery is mental and it is monetary. Modern day slavery is mental and it is monetary. This is 75% cotton. So many people are still picking cotton on a daily basis and they didn't even know it. You're still picking cotton for your master on the corporate plantation. We got to get off that if we truly want to be free. And so that is what we are doing by reprogramming our mind around money and the skill set of how to manifest anything that you desire in your life, especially now being New Year's resolutions. Many people have been setting New Year's resolutions wrong because, again, they're trying to manifest through effort, right? Through hard work. Okay. Now, there are times when you are manifesting that you have to work hard, but the hardest worker does not always win. Okay. The winner does work hard, but the hardest worker doesn't always win. Again, I've said it before. If the hardest worker always won, then day laborers, right, who are picking fruits in California, they would be the wealthiest people in the world. They work the hardest. Okay. So if we know that the hardest worker doesn't win, then we need to identify who does win. And what I've seen in terms of people who win, it's people who are manifesting through the power of their mind. Whether that's Richard Branson, whether that's Jeff Bezos, the people with the biggest visions, right? Who are able to stay in alignment and see an idea that is in the heaven of their mind and actually bring it down to earth, right? On earth as it is in heaven. Those who are able to hold and believe in large, big, God-given ideas in their mind and hold them in faith long enough to actually see them manifest, those are the people who are changing the world, not the people who work the hardest. So when they say, oh yeah, just work harder, that is not the answer. Because you cannot get from $100,000 a year to $1 million a year by working 10 times harder. You cannot get to from $100,000 a year to $1 million a year, right? That's a multiple of 10 by working 10 times harder. At $100,000 a year, you're already working 60 hours a week. So if it was about working 10 times harder, then you'd be working 600 hours a week. How would you get to 600 hours a week? There's only 168 hours in the week. Yet there are many people who have manifested and are manifesting $1 million a year, right? Without working 10 times harder than you. So where is that yeast, right? Where is that yeast coming from? What is that ingredient that is in their life, right? That is causing what they're doing to expand at a greater rate than what you're doing. That's what we need to explore. That's what we're here to uncover. And I believe that yeast is understanding who they are in God and who God is in them, aligning with that divine power, aligning with your purpose with the creator, and then allowing yourself to be guided by the creator. I'll give you a quick example. And actually, we're going to cover this in the book, but I'll give it to you right now. If I'm going to row a boat across the Pacific Ocean, right? If I'm going to row and rely on my own body and my own effort, these little biceps here, they can only go so far. I'm not going to make it across the Pacific Ocean rowing with my arms. But if I use my mind and imagine, how can I tap into a power that is greater than my body to get across the ocean? And then in my imagination, I imagine a sail. And I put up a sheet or some sort of sail that actually is able to catch the wind. The wind is a more powerful force and energy, right, than my biceps. So now, instead of using my biceps to try to row my way across the Pacific Ocean, now I've tapped into an energy source that is greater than me. And I'm able to use that to, once I align with that thing, I'm able to carry that forward. I'm able to tap into that energy and allow that to carry me to my goal. And so our work is really, how do we align with that higher power? How do we align with that force that is greater than us in terms of our flesh, in terms of our physical body? Because God is in us. We know that God is in us. And that is actually how we attune with the one God. We all want to be plugged in to the one God, right? And that's what alignment looks like. So it's not about hustling. It's not about hustling the hardest. Oh yeah, I'm gonna sleep. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Yo, I'm out here grinding. I'm 20 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? I ain't sleeping. I'm getting it in. That ain't the solution. I've been there. I was a workaholic, family, and I've been able to move my life. It was like it did take me like turning a Titanic around. It took me a while to move from hustle to alignment, right? I had to use this little rudder and the power of my mind to move this whole Titanic that I had been trained, right, through my parents who were doctors who were just working hard. Left early in the morning, went to medical school. You know, that's not easy. Left early in the morning to go to work, came back late from surgeries and things of that nature, right? I saw them work hard. So that was my MO. That's how I operated. And over time in my adulthood, once I left their household, right, I realized that wasn't going to work. And I had to turn this ship around into another way of manifesting. And so you've seen it in my life, not only in my personal life in terms of my personal achievements, right? But you've also seen it in my movement, like the multifamily movement. I'm able to manifest at a very high level because of these mindsets that I'm sharing with you in Rich and Righteous. And I'm here to make the righteous rich. For too long, the righteous have thought that being poor is noble, and we're off that. I'm here to actually create the wealthiest family in the world. Literally, I'm here to create the wealthiest family in the world. 100,000 people with $1 million of net worth would be $100 billion. That would make us the fifth wealthiest family in the world at this moment in time. I'm committed to that for over a 30-year period. For the rest of my life, I'm committed to that. I don't think it will take the rest of my life to do that if we are in alignment. I don't need everybody in the world. I just need a group of 100,000 people who are committed to the same vision and goal. That's it. Okay. And so I thank you for being here, for being part of that vision, for allowing me to guide you, because I'm being guided. I'm actually not the one guiding you. Okay. I'm tapped in. I did my meditation today. I'm being guided by God. And so through me, you're being guided. But ultimately, I don't even want to be an intermediary. Ultimately, I don't even want to be an intermediary. I want you to be able to go directly to source yourself and plug in yourself directly. I've said this before. I'm the oldest brother in my family. My brothers do not have to go through me to get to the Father. My brothers do not have to go through me to get to the Father, to talk to my Father. And so ultimately, I want to get out the way. But while I'm being used, I'm grateful for being used. It's a blessing to be a blessing. And there's no greater feeling in the world than being in your God-given purpose and being used by God and knowing that that is true. Right. So, yes, rich rising to everybody. We don't say good morning because we mourning. Grief is okay. Right. But we're not mourning. We're celebrating life every single day that we are breathing. Every single breath that we have, we are celebrating. So with that, I'm excited to have you all here today. We're in commandment number 4. We're in commandment number 4. Somebody the other day commented on my bookmark. You see this $100? It doesn't do anything. You can't eat it. You can't drink it, right? You can't do much with it. You can't keep you warm at night, right? I'm using that as a bookmark. That's all it is a bookmark, because this is the lowest form of currency in the entire world. The greatest form of currency is in your body. The greatest form of currency is in you. Okay. I just want to remind you of that. Okay. That this is no longer backed by gold. The only thing that gives it any value is our trust and belief in each other. Our trust and belief in each other is the only thing that gives us any value. Right. And we've seen that with cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency felt like it was the new wave. Right. But at the end of the day, cryptocurrency also is not backed by anything. It is also a fiat currency. And you've seen that tumble as of late because it's not backed by anything except for people's belief and their perceived value of it. All right. So we are in commandment number 4, and we're talking about how the rich and righteous speak about money. Okay. We're talking about how they speak about money. I'm going to run through the commandments really quickly just so that you know what we are doing. So the first commandment was how the rich and righteous measure money. Then we went into how the rich and righteous think about money. Then in commandment number 3 was how the rich and righteous feel about money. Now we're in commandment number 4, which is how the rich and righteous speak about money and the power of our word. Then in commandment number 5, we're going to talk about how the rich and righteous ask for money. Then we're going to talk about in commandment number 6, how they hold money. Commandment number 7, how they use money. Commandment number 8, how they manifest money. Commandment number 9, how they attract money. And commandment number 10, how the rich and righteous enjoy money. So that is the journey that we are on. We are on page 166 today. We're on page 166 today. If you would like to get the book, the links are pinned at the top of they're pinned at the top of YouTube and Instagram. If Instagram shuts down today, you can go over to YouTube. If YouTube shuts down today, you can go over to Instagram. We always have a backup. So you can go get the book directly at moneyandmanifestation.com, or to see all the links and tap into everything that I'm up to, you can go to getfreenow.com. Okay. Either moneyandmanifestation.com or getfreenow.com is where all the links of everything I'm doing is you can tap in there. When you buy the book, it does cost $100. It does cost $100. I'll let you know that. You get 5 copies of the book, though. 1 is for you, 4 is for you to give to other people to immediately stimulate your economy, your personal economy, by putting you in a state of giving. You also get the Rituals Workbook, which gives you the tools that I use to anchor all of these principles, so that it's not just about you getting information, but it's about you integrating and implementing these principles principles into your life. And then finally, you also get the audio book as well when you buy the book for $100. You can go to Amazon right now and you can go get one copy of the book for $100. It's literally $100 on Amazon. Okay. And some people have chosen to go that route and all they got was one book. But if you go to moneyandmanifestation.com or getfreenow.com, you can get 5 copies plus the rituals workbook and the audio book. All right. So in chat, there are many people. If you bought the book, please type just type RR. If you bought the book in chat, type RR. Yes, the rituals workbook is mailed separately. There are 2 different printers. So the 5 books are going to come in one shipment and the rituals workbook will come in a second shipment. So everybody who does not have the book and is like $100 is crazy. I can't afford that right now. Jullien, I just paid rent or I just paid my mortgage payment. You know, I'm trying to get you off that through the multifamily movement. Everybody who's typed RR, they got 5 copies of the book. And so if you are in a scarcity mindset right now, or you are in a temporary position of lack, you can simply ask, not from a place of neediness, but a place of genuine need, meaning that I'm actually going to use this tool when somebody blesses me with it. You can ask from a place of need, not neediness, 2 different energies. You can ask in chat if someone will mail you a copy of the book. They got 5, and they're actually looking to give the book to other people, okay? But when you ask from a place of need, don't just say, hey, can somebody please give me a book? I'm broke right now. No, that's neediness. What I want you to do, I want you to say, hey, I'm in a temporary state of financial lack. Temporary. This is not my permanent state. This is not my destiny or my destination. I would be happy to cash app you for a priority mail envelope, $10, if you would be willing and generous enough to give me a copy of the book. That is how you ask from a place of power, right? Out of genuine need, because you know that this will bless you, as opposed to neediness, which is a victim mind state. Okay. So that is how you ask from a place of power. Okay. And so and again, this is only for those who realize like, man, Jullien, I really don't have $100 in my account right now. Like I am temporarily struggling right now, but I know that this will bless me. There are hundreds of people who are ready, willing, and able to give you a copy of the book, right? We're creating our own little economy in here, an economy that is based on generosity, an economy that is based on giving and receiving and reciprocity. Now, for those of you who ask for a book, listen to me very carefully. If you ask for a book and you receive a book from this place of genuine need, when you finally get up, what is the expectation of you? When you finally get up on your feet, what is the expectation of you? It is for you to reciprocate and do the same for others. Do you understand that? When you do get up, and we know and believe that you will get up and you will enter a state of abundance, that this space that you're in is temporary. When you do get up, all we ask is that you reciprocate what was done for you for other people. That's it. Pay it forward. All right. This is how we lift each other up. This is how we lift each other up. All right. So we're on page 166, and it's called Words Create Worlds. Words create worlds. All right. Let there be light, and there was light. Genesis 1:3. Oh man. So is Booker T here today? I don't know if Booker T is here, but he is the lead visionary from South Park Cottages, which is a community of 29 tiny homes in Atlanta. And I went by the site yesterday because that's a brother of mine. I believe in him and his vision. And it was pouring down rain, right? He was taking me on a tour of the 3 different models that we have there. And he, myself, and my daughter were walking back to the car, and it was pouring down rain. Fortunately, we had umbrellas. And I said with my mouth, man, I wish this rain would stop so we could get to the car. And guess what happened, y'all? It was like a faucet. God said, and the rain stopped abruptly. It didn't just wind down. It didn't go from a hard rain to a soft rain to no rain. It literally stopped the moment I put a period on my sentence. We paused, we looked at each other. We like, did you just did this just happen? And then we talked in the parking lot for another 30 minutes, and it did not rain during that entire time. God was like, I need y'all brothers to talk. And this rain right now is going to affect y'all from talking. So I'm going to honor your word right now, because two of you are walking in. Whenever two or more are gathered in my name, I am present. And I'm going to stop this rain so that this conversation that you two are having, because I know that you two need to do work together, I'm going to stop this rain so that y'all can continue doing what y'all was doing, the good that you were doing in the world. I wish he was here. I wish I could bring him on right now to share with you what happened. It was remarkable. Now, it could have been raining all around the entire community. It's 3 acres. But wherever we were standing, whew, the power of our word, family. He said, you better tell that story tomorrow. I said, I will. Because we're talking about the power of our word. And so that was a real life example. I wish I could have had it on video. I wish I was recording so that y'all could see me, but I know y'all believe me. It was the most powerful thing. We could put our umbrellas down and finish the walk to the car, which was only another 20, 30 yards away. Crazy, y'all. So yeah. So I just wanted to share that. Oh, it was absolutely amazing. Yes, please like and share this video. Please like and share this video. We got 250 people on YouTube. We got 76 likes on YouTube. A like don't cost you nothing. All right. We're trying to break these algorithms. You know, if Kim Kardashian can break the internet with a nude photo, then why can't we break the internet with this consciousness? If Kim Kardashian can break the internet with a nude photo, why can't we break the internet with this consciousness? All right. So the only thing that breaks these algorithms is us. Right. So the algorithms are either shaping us or we're shaping the algorithms. It's one or the other. The algorithms are shaping us or we are shaping the algorithms. It's one or the other. So if you're on YouTube, find that heart or that like button. Right. And if you're on Instagram, I think it's a heart as well. All right. So page 166, words create worlds. Let there be light, and there was light. So you see right here the power of God using the power of its word, right, in order to create. In Genesis, what did God do with its word? Create this world. So what do children of God or gods do with their word? We create worlds. Words help transition ideas from the first dimension to the second and third dimensions. A thought form or word form is one-dimensional. But when it enters the world through writing or image, it becomes two-dimensional, which is flat form. As Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain. And then the word becomes three-dimensional when it takes on its physical form. Words have the power to create worlds, and these worlds become our experience. Think of Disneyland, The Matrix, or Wakanda, or heaven. These single words conjure up so much imagery, emotions, and ideas. Even without physical form, words like these inform our choices. The word abracadabra, oftentimes used by magicians just before they manifest something out of thin air, literally means I create what I speak in Hebrew. It literally means I create what I speak. How many of you knew that? How many of you didn't know that? Abracadabra literally means I create what I speak. You thought it was just magicians just coming up with some gibberish? No. Abracadabra in Hebrew literally means I create what I speak. Okay? So I want to go back really quickly. So thought form is the first dimension. Okay? And then the second dimension, when you make something flat, right? When you make something flat, that is when you put the word, the thought through word into writing or an image. An image speaks 1,000 words, right? And then the third dimension is the physical form. And the fourth dimension is when you actually are able to experience that in time, space, and reality. So we can go from, I know Atlanta Airport, right? Somebody had the vision, okay? Then they put it into, that's the first dimension. Then they put it into a 2D blueprint on a flat piece of paper. That's the blueprint for the airport. In the airport, they actually have a smaller three-dimensional model of the airport, but I can't walk through that three-dimensional model. All I can do is see it. It is in physical form. It has height, length, and width now, okay? But it's in a small three-dimensional form. And it's not until now we can actually experience that airport in time, space, and reality that we now enter the fourth dimension, okay? So that is how manifestation occurs. So we are on the bottom of page 166. God, listen to me. God is never not listening to your word, whether you speak it casually or seriously, internally or aloud. God is never not listening. I wish God would hear me. God is always listening. God is all ears. God is all ears. Everybody type that. God is all ears. And God is always speaking to you as well. The question is, are our ears open, right? Are our ears open, right? And what are we speaking? Through our aloud or internally? God is all ears, and God is always speaking to us. This is why Jesus always said, let those with ears do what? Let those with ears hear. Because everybody who has ears is not here. Why? Because they're not here. Here. Everybody with ears does not hear because they are not really here. They're in the past, they're in the future, and this is why meditation or prayer brings us right here in the moment. It brings us here. And when we are here, we can hear. I don't know if y'all caught that. When we are here, that just came on my spirit. When we are here, we can hear. But if your mind is in the past or in the future, you can't hear anything. You listening to some old stuff. You projecting out some new stuff. Okay? We here in the present moment. This is why I start my day in meditation or prayer. Okay? So if some people knew the power of their word, they would talk less. I told you this week. I told all y'all to shut up this week with a smile on my face. I told all y'all to shut up this week with a smile. Not a mean shut up. Just be quiet. Shh. You talk too much. If some people knew the power of their word, they would talk less. How you speak shapes your reality literally. All right. Words have vibrations, and the more you believe in that word, the stronger the vibration. And through the law of resonance, the things that share that frequency begin to excite in the quantum field. Okay. I want to repeat that. And through the law of resonance, the things that share that frequency begin to excite, get activated in the quantum field. And if held long enough, ultimately manifest. Our words are vibrations. And that's why we have vocal cords. We have vocal cords, right? To speak and ear drums to hear. You see that? We have vocal, if you don't believe your words are vibration, we have vocal cords, okay? Like an accordion, like the chords in a computer, in a piano. And we have ear drums because those vibrations hit the eardrums and then it translates through our brain into something that we can compute, to code that we can compute. Your drums are being beaten by the words that I'm saying right now, okay? Our language has to match the vibration of the level we want to live on, which is heaven on earth, the highest level of all. Our language has to match the vibration of the level we want to live on, which is heaven on earth. That is where we ultimately all want to be. Heaven on earth, not heaven after you die. That's what the church and religion will teach you. Heaven after you die. That's the ultimate. No, it says on earth as it is in heaven. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. The highest level of living is heaven on earth. When the highest level of thinking, the greatest good that you can imagine in your mind is actually matching with your physical reality. That is where we ultimately want to be. What did Bob Marley say? Preacher man, don't tell me heaven is under the earth. I know you don't know what life is really worth. If you knew what life is worth, you would look for yours on earth. And now you see the light. Hey, stand up for your rights. Yeah. If you knew what life is worth, you would look for yours on earth. Okay. But again, we're not looking for ours in terms of material things. That's not what it's not about materialism. Okay. You can have nice things, but we are looking to whatever the highest and greatest good you imagine in your life and for others is, that is what we want to bring down to earth. Heaven is our mental experience of life. Earth is our material experience. We want those to match. That's when you're experiencing heaven on earth. Okay. So fear, doubt, worry, murder, hate, sin, war, competition, and disease don't exist at this level. Okay. So we're trying to change our language. Many people's language pattern is down here. It's on some lower level. It's in the basement for some people. Okay. We're trying to elevate our language to the 100th floor, top of the Empire State Building. The language that we speak up here is different than the language that is down here. Okay. So down here, up here, we don't talk about fear. We don't talk about doubt, worry, murder, hate, sin, war, competition, or disease. Those don't exist up here. Okay. Your language always reveals your level. Your language always reveals your level. So I'll give you an example from a cooking standpoint. When I was a kid, I was a latchkey kid, right? And so my language for cooking, what was my word for cooking, y'all? As a latchkey kid, how many latchkey kids out there? What was my word for cooking, y'all? What was my word for cooking? It was called microwave. Microwave. That was my word for cooking. Okay? When I was in elementary school and junior high school, it was microwave. That was my verb for cooking. Okay? But now, as you elevate as a cook or a chef, right? What kind of words can you use to describe cooking? We can be sauteing something. We can be broiling something, right? Give me some other words that are higher level cooking words, verbs. I'm showing you in real time. Give me some. I said saute, broil. We could braise something, right? We can roast something, good. We can steam something. We can grill something. Okay. We can bake. We can sizzle. We can air fry. So are you seeing the difference? Down here on this level of cooking, I only had microwave. That was the level of cooking I was at. But as you elevate, your language changes. We can simmer something. We can char something. You see all these, you see all these words? They're higher level words. Now we're moving towards Gordon Ramsay, not Jullien Gordon in elementary school. Okay. This is Jullien Gordon elementary school. This is Gordon Ramsay up here. We got two different languages, though we're talking about the same thing. You see what I'm saying? Oh, caramelize, that's a good one. Flambe, marinade something. So do you see how your language changes based on the level you're operating at? Are you seeing that now? Yes or no? Yep, smoke something. Good. You seeing the difference in language now? Good. So I just wanted to show you that in real time. Okay. So Genesis 2:19 through 20 says, and whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name. The man gave names to all the livestock, to the birds of the air, and to every beast of the field. Like Adam, you have the power to name your own experience. What you name the things in you and around you reflects how you see yourself in relationship to those things. Is that situation a challenge or a problem? Is the situation that you're in right now a challenge or a problem? Because that wording is actually going to reflect, it actually shows how you think about life. Is that a lemon or is it lemonade? Is that a lemon, a sour lemon, or is it lemonade? Is that a flaw or is it a growth opportunity? We hear about growth mindset. Are they meant to be, are they being mean to hurt you or tough to help you? If you believe that your high school coach was being mean to hurt you, when in reality they were just being tough to help you, that's going to change the way you relate to them and even the sport that you were playing. Did they mislead you, or did they not, or did you not take lead? Did they mislead you in terms of externally blaming somebody else, or did you not take the lead? Are you surviving or are you thriving? Oh, Jullien, I'm just getting by. Is it a global pandemic or is it a global bandemic? You know how many people made bans in the midst of COVID? You either going to freeze during COVID or you're going to get free. A lot of people chose to freeze and they got stuck, just like Lot's wife looking back. And there's few people that I know that got free. Did you get fired or did you get freed? Did they die or did they transition? Did you lose or did you learn? Are you a small business or a scaling business? Two people can experience the same situation and have two completely different interpretations and descriptions of their experiences. Your language shows and reflects how you think about life. Your language literally creates worlds. Your words create worlds. Okay? Your words have a creative power. As Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the what? Of the tongue. Proverbs 29:20 adds, there is more hope for a fool than for someone who speaks without thinking. This is why I told y'all to shut up this week. There is more hope for a fool than someone who speaks without thinking. All right? Your word is made flesh. So your vocabulary offers you a variety of seeds you can use to give birth to physical things. A person with a poverty consciousness is limited by their language and does not speak the same as a person with a wealth consciousness. Okay? This is why I love Malcolm X. Do you all remember what Malcolm X did when he was in jail? You want to know how Malcolm X became who he became? Do you know what he did when he was in jail? He read the entire dictionary. He read the entire dictionary. So now he took his limited language from Detroit Red, and by changing his language and having access to new words that could create new worlds, he elevates to the great speaker he was as Malcolm X. No, he didn't just read. Reading is good by itself. He read the dictionary so that he had more seeds to access when he was planting them in the minds of the people through his speeches. He read the dictionary. Okay? The vocabulary of Detroit Red and the vocabulary of Malcolm X, completely different. So his transformation, which is probably, that story is probably the greatest story of personal growth and transformation in the entire world. Okay? But you see a key element of it was actually changing his language. It wasn't just the religion. Okay? It wasn't just, all of those were key. Having the discipline of religion, having mentors, right? Having the religion, mentors, having the time, being in jail, right? But I think one of the key components that is overlooked is he changed his language. Okay? And he's one of the greatest orators of all time. Your word is bond, and it should never be destructive. Seek to make your word constructive by building. These are the three things your word should do. Three things your word should do: building, blessing, or breathing life into someone, something, or someone, including yourself, whether through speaking, writing, prayer, or self-talk. So there's three things you want your word to do. You want to build, you want to bless, or you want to breathe life into something. Those are the only three things you should be speaking about. This is why gossip is no good, because gossip is usually destructive. And not only is it destructive, guess what? Your word shall never return void. So that gossip ends up coming right back around to you. You were gossiping about someone who got cheated on, and guess what? Guess what's happening behind your back, family? You was gossiping about your homegirl who got cheated on to somebody else because she confided in you in in privacy and confidentiality. And now guess what's happening to you? Because your word shall never return void. You thought you were talking about her, but really what you ended up doing is you ended up talking about yourself. So we only use our word for three things: to build, to bless, or to breathe life into something or someone. And for those of you who say, oh, I don't gossip, but I listen to gossip, I'm convicting you too. Oh, I don't gossip. I didn't say anything. She just told me. You know you have the power to cut off a conversation. I don't want to hear that. Oh my goodness, I gotta go. Oh my goodness. Did you know that? Like, you gotta have some tactics to revert the conversation, because I don't want to hear that in my spirit. Okay. So, so some of us need to zip up our mouth, and we need to put earplugs in, because some of the words you listening to, oh, don't let me go into your music playlist. Don't have me go into your music playlist. You still listening to Cardi B. Oh, but the song is good. The beat is good. Yeah, but have you listened to all the lyrics? And then on top of that, have you listened to have you listened to some of the subconscious messages that they have at lower frequencies in the actual songs? And you bobbing your head, yes. When you bob your head like this, you affirming. You saying yes to that song. Yes. So the song is coming in, and you saying yes to it. Yeah. F these dudes. I hate these itches. Yeah. You just affirming it. Yes. You're like, oh no, my music don't affect me. No, it's all good. That's how y'all be. I don't even listen to music that much, family. I don't even listen to music. I got like 3 artists I listen to. All right. So seek to make your word constructive by building, blessing, or breathing life into something or someone, including yourself, whether through speaking, writing, prayer, or self-talk. If you don't have something good to say to yourself, say nothing by meditating and taking no thought. Jesus said, take no thought. Take no thought. Do not worry. And so if you are having self-critical thought, you have to go into meditation and let those thoughts descend and evaporate. Okay? We're on page 168. We're on page 168. Second paragraph. Case in point. In an interview just before the 1986 World Series between the Boston Red Sox and the New York Mets, the Red Sox first baseman Bill Buckner said this in a pregame interview. The dreams are that you're going to have a great series and win. We're talking about baseball here. The nightmares are that you're going to let the winning run score on a ground ball through your legs. Those things happen, you know. I think a lot of it is just fate. Lo and behold, guess what happened, family? Lo and behold, in a pivotal game 6 of the series, Bill Buckner allowed a ground ball to go through his legs in the 10th inning, in extra innings, resulting in the Mets winning game 6 and ultimately game 7. Buckner believed in his nightmare more than he did his dream, and the nightmare he vividly envisioned came to pass. He literally said that in a pregame interview, and it manifested. Go YouTube Bill Buckner World Series. This is the power of our word. You saw me stop the rain yesterday with my word. So you're either going to believe in your dream or you're going to believe in your nightmare. You're either going to believe in your best case scenario or you're going to believe in your worst case scenario. Most people, because of the lizard brain in us, because of the amygdala, we tend to believe heavier in the worst case scenario than we do the best case scenario. That is a muscle we have to develop. Page 168. You can also see this in music, where repetition is strengthened not only by the musician having to perform the same song repeatedly, but also by their fans touching and agreeing by singing the lyrics and radio stations playing the words on the airwaves. So it's one thing for the musician to create the song, but now there are other people who are touching and agreeing and believing in that word. And then that word is being spread by those people playing the song and radio stations. So that word gets multiplied really, really quickly. Okay. Michael Jackson said, I'm bad. I'm bad. 24 times in his song Bad. He said it 24 times. I counted. Remember that the subconscious mind takes things literally despite what he may have meant. He also had some song titles that seemed to be soundtracks of his life, like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, The Way You Make Me Feel. Are you talking about love or are you talking about drugs? Man in the Mirror, Black or White, Pretty Young Thing, and Gone Too Soon. The question is, did these songs shape his life or share his life or both? Did these songs shape his life or were they sharing his life or were they both? On another note, one of Bob Marley's best songs, and I just sang Bob Marley a second ago, was We're Jammin'. On the surface, it appears to be an upbeat song about partying, But you realize how many of you like that song "We're Jamming" by Bob Marley? I'm about to blow your mind. How many of you like that song? We're jamming, and I want to jam it with you. Okay. On the surface level, it appears to be a party song, correct? But it's not. Listen to the lyrics. To think that jamming was a thing of the past, or Jah children must unite, or Jah sitteth in Mount Zion. You want to know what Bob Marley was really saying, family? He was saying that we are Jah hyphen men. JAH, which is the Rasa's word for God, and it's also a biblical name, one of the biblical names for God, Jehovah, Jireh, etc. Right? JAH hyphen men. He's saying we're Jah men, we're God men. What you are, we're Jah men. What you are, and I want to jam it with you. I want to jam it with other people who recognize themselves and see themselves as children of God. It was not a party song. That's the magic of his writing, is that on the surface level, it came off on a party song and people just dancing to it, just like you dance to Cardi B. But really, it was actually the highest affirmation. The reason people love that song is because it's actually the highest affirmation of you as a human being. We're God men is exactly what Jesus said in John 10:34. Ye are gods. But Bob was able to weave it into wordplay in a song and download it into the subconscious mind. Not only do these people love this song for the vibe or vibration, but we also subconsciously love it because it is the highest affirmation of all time. Somebody calling you a God, recognizing you as a child of God. I don't care what your background is. I don't care if you've been to jail. I don't care what dirt you've done. The question always remains, how does God see you? I don't care how the United States government sees you. I don't care how the police see you. I don't care how the media sees you. I don't care how your ex sees you. What really matters is, how does God see you? And we know the story of the prodigal son. The father is always waiting for the child to return with open arms. The father, mother, father, God does not abandon the child because of their doing. This is why you can't do your way into heaven. It's not about doing. It's about you recognizing who you are and your being. Now, your being naturally will do good when you understand that you're a child of God. But this is not a doing contest. This is not about who gave the most to a nonprofit. This is not about who did the most good. Naturally, as a child of God, you will do good. But the reality, and some people do good because they don't feel that they're a child of God and they're trying to impress their parents. They're trying to impress their spiritual parents. They think they're a bad kid because religion told you that you were a sinner. So you think you have to do good to get back in honor of the mother, father, in honor of your spiritual parents. But the reality is that you are come to the awareness that you are already a child of God. And once you recognize that you are a child of God, your being shaped your doing, which shapes your having. So once you step into the identity as a child of God, you will naturally do good because that is what God does. And as a result of doing good, you will be rewarded in terms of your having. This is not a doing contest, though. This is not a doing contest. Page 169. We have about one page left. And then we have Tupac and Biggie. Machiavelli was released on November 5th, 1996, and Tupac died on September 13th, 1996, meaning that all of the songs were already recorded. Observe the death in the song titles. Listen to me. Observe the death in the song titles. To Live and Die in LA. I Wonder If Heaven Got a Ghetto. I Shed So Many Tears. Life Goes On. Life Goes On. Only God Can Judge Me. I Ain't Mad at You. Hail Mary. Thug's Mansion. Cradle to the Grave. Until the End of Time. How Long Will They Mourn? You hear all the death in those songs, family? And I do want to celebrate that we hit 550 today. I do want to celebrate that we hit 550 today. We got 294 people on YouTube, but only 160 likes. I'm calling y'all out. Do you hear the death in those songs? Okay. Now, the Notorious B.I.G.'s album, Ready to Die, just listen to the title of the album, Ready to Die, had a similar theme with song titles like Crossroads, Mo Money, Mo Problems, Who Shot Ya? Who Shot Ya? And Who Shot Ya? Dead Wrong, Suicidal Thoughts, Somebody's Got to Die, and my downfall. Instagram, can y'all hear me? I had a phone call come in. Instagram, can y'all hear me? A phone call came in. Instagram, can y'all hear me? Uh-oh. I know you can hear me on YouTube. No sound. Dang. All right, I gotta start that over. All right, no sound. Go to YouTube. Dang. I don't know why that happens, y'all. We's on the road too. We're almost done. All right, let me and now share. Let me start this over, y'all. For those of you on YouTube, our backup is always Instagram, and Instagram backup is YouTube. Okay. Cool. All right. Let's give them a second. So, did you hear all the death? Did you hear all the death in those songs? Did you hear all the death in those songs? Those song titles and even the album. All right. So, Ready to Die was released on September 13th, 1994, and he died on March 9th, 1997. Music remains one of the most powerful forces in the world due to the vibrations of the words, the vibration of the beat, and the repetition of the lyrics by artists, fans, radio stations, and streaming services. It is one of the greatest ways to reprogram your subconscious mind. It is one of the greatest ways to reprogram your subconscious mind. Okay? Last page. Google, I need everybody, if do this afterwards. Google child knee plate. Okay, I'll show you the word CHLADNI. I'm going to show you an image in just a second. Oh my gosh, why? Instagram, go to YouTube. Why people want to call me in the middle of the live, homie? Go to YouTube. While they're doing that, please like this video on YouTube and subscribe. Please like this video on YouTube and subscribe. Instagram, can you hear me? Again, no sound. Go to YouTube, family. Golly, y'all. Try one more time, and then otherwise we're just gonna finish on YouTube. We're gonna finish on YouTube. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay. So Google CHLADNI. Okay. CHLADNI. All right. It is a plate connected to a sound output with sand on top. It is a plate connected to a sound output with sand on top. All right. And when certain sounds are played, the sand on the plate takes on elegant patterns. If you don't think sound shapes your reality, this is proof. The walls of Jericho collapsed as a result of the vibration of the trumpets. If you remember the story about the walls of Jericho crumbling, how do you think the walls of Jericho crumbled? Vibration. Okay. In the same way that an opera singer's high-pitched voice can cause the glass to shatter, the vibration of your words can shape or shatter your world. You've heard of or seen opera singers' voice shatter a glass? The same thing. It's vibration, family. So I'm going to show you what a child knee plate looks like. This is what a child knee plate looks like. How many of you have seen this before? How many of you seen a child knee plate before? I'm just making it real for you. I'm connecting the dots for you. How many of you have seen this before? All that is that's sand on a child knee plate, at 5,201 hertz. And this is the pattern that it makes. So if you think that your vibrations of your words don't shape your reality, this is proof that they do. This is proof that they do. Okay? Throughout this book, you've seen me make up words because every level of consciousness requires a new language. When you graduate from one level of anything to the next, new vocabulary will open up new doors in your thinking. In math, you started with counting, and then you got to calculus. In business, you started with revenues and expenses, and now you're talking about MRR, which is monthly recurring revenue, or LTV, which is lifetime value of a customer. In cooking, it used to be boil or bake, and now you're talking about searing and braising. I'm a creator, and so are you, and we have the power to name our experience as we wish. If a word that isn't in the dictionary feels better or more accurate to you, then feel free to use it. You've seen me create words all throughout the book. I create words to actually elevate my level of consciousness, to match with where I'm trying to go, because there is no word in the English dictionary that matches where I'm seeking to go. That's what visionaries do. Not only do we create visions that have not been seen before, but we also create language to describe those visions. When someone creates a new word, we say they what? Listen to me. When someone creates a new word, what do we say they did? What do we say? What is it called, family? You think your words have value? Watch this. When someone creates a new word, what do we say they did? We say they coined a phrase. You see the monetary implication of that? They coined a phrase. They coined it. Your word has now become valuable because you coined it. You didn't need a mint. You didn't need the Federal Reserve. You coined a word. When someone creates a new word, we say they coined that phrase because the word you use to describe your experiences are valuable. You don't need to define your experience through the limited lens of Webster's dictionary or the encyclopedia. History keeps repeating itself because we keep repeating the same stories in language. You are the narrator of your life, and with your words, you have the power to describe your experiences as you wish. That is it, family. That is it. That was dope. That was dope. All right. So you got to understand the power of your word, family. Some of you need to stay silent and be very mindful of the words you speak. Because when you speak a word, okay, it's one thing for it to come as a thought, but when you speak it, you give it a greater vibration. And now you've externalized it. And now it's moving through the universe. We're having a conversation with the you and I verse. So you want to be very mindful of your words. We want to use our words to bless, to build, or breathe life into something or someone. That's it. That is the only reason we want to be speaking. Anything else is, what do they call it? Superfluous. That's a new word, right? Superfluous, frivolous, not useful, futile. See these words? These words can describe your experience. All right. So for those of you who are joining us, apologies for Instagram. I got some phone calls that came in and for some reason it cuts out the audio. We are always on YouTube. YouTube is always the backup, family. And if YouTube cuts out, we have Instagram as backup. So we're always in two places at once. So thank you for your patience with that. If you'd like to get the book, all the links to everything that I'm up to right now are at getfreenow.com. Getfreenow.com. If somebody could type that in, getfreenow.com. You'll find the link to buy this book. This book is $100, but you get 5 copies of it. You also get the rituals workbook and you get the audiobook. The reason I'm giving you 5 copies is it's actually an exercise for you to put you in a state of giving to stimulate your own personal economy. As you give, so you shall receive. The reason some of you aren't receiving at the level that you desire because you're not giving enough, right? So this is an exercise. It is intentionally done that way. There's no way to buy the book by itself unless you go to Amazon and you buy it for $100 and you just get one on Amazon. If you go to getfreenow.com and you click the link there, you get 5 copies plus the rituals workbook and the audiobook. Other things that I got going on that I want you to be aware of is a Generational Wealth Conference is coming up MLK weekend. There are some live tickets and live stream tickets available. Generational Wealth Conference, we're going to be talking about real estate, entrepreneurship, life insurance, tax strategies, all kinds of business models that you can use to actually start walking in your God-given purpose. There's many different asset classes that you can master. I've chosen to master multifamily real estate, and you have to identify the asset class that you want to master in order to be able to walk in your God-given purpose on a daily basis. And so I'm having my friends from all over. They're flying in from all over the country to talk about how to build a coaching business, how to build a software company, how to get into real estate, how to get into life insurance, many different business models in real estate, how to get into build your clothing brand, etc. All of that we're covering at Generational Wealth Conference. Again, that's MLK weekend. Some of you already have an extended weekend there. So pull up. That's, again, all the details are at getfreenow.com. Somebody could type that in for me. That's getfreenow.com. Where you'll see the link to Generational Wealth Conference. The other thing that I have going on is 100 dope men and 100 dope women. Look, I'm trying to get y'all booed up with each other, right? As I said, I'm trying to build the wealthiest family in the world, and we will do that by multiplying and unifying our consciousnesses, divine feminine, divine masculine. And so the dating process out there is broken. There's a lot of toxicity going on these podcasts that are causing men to hate women and women to hate men. And I've been given a new process and a new way to go about this that I want to try out. So I'm looking for 100 dope men and 100 dope women to go through that process. And again, that link is also at getfreenow.com. That's getfreenow.com. You'll see 100 dope women and 100 dope men on there. And you can fill out the application to be considered for that. So if you know that you are, you are a good person, and I think everybody thinks they're a good person, but you've been having struggling out in these dating streets, and you're tired of winging it, and you actually want a process to guide you through to make sure that you choose right. First and foremost, make sure that you heal from your past relationships and trauma. Then develop your self-love, get back in the game and start choosing right, and actually set the proper boundaries to create the right foundation for a healthy relationship. That's what 100 Dope Men and 100 Dope Women is all about. So again, all of that information is at getfreenow.com. For those of you on Instagram, you can click the link in my bio and that will take you there as well. So that's moneyandmanifestation.com for the book. That's Generational Wealth Conference coming up at MLK weekend. Those are live, or live stream tickets are available now. And then and those tickets sales in, I think, next week. And then finally 100 dope men and 100 dope women. That's everything that I'm up to. Again, Black wealth through the multifamily movement, Black love through 100 dope men and 100 dope women, and Black spirituality through Reading Rich and Righteous, and Metaphysical Bible Study. Metaphysical Bible Study is actually on pause right now until we're done with Reading Rich and Righteous. So that's where I've channeled that energy for right now. We did finish decoding Genesis, and you can find that as a playlist on my YouTube channel if you want to see our past Metaphysical Bible Studies and our decoding of Genesis and the allegorical meanings behind those stories. So with that, we will be back here at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. We're here every single weekday reading Rich and Righteous. You do not have to have the book to be here. It is an absolutely free space. But we'll be back here at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Please set a phone alarm. I don't want to bombard you. I send out one email at the beginning of the week letting you know the schedule. I don't want to bombard you with emails and text. So please set a phone alarm to make sure that you're here at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time if you found this to be a blessing in terms of how you start your day. All right. So with that, I appreciate each and every one of you. I wish you abundance today. Watch your word, be mindful of your words, stay silent if you know that you're not in control of your mouth or your tongue or your word. And let's keep doing this thing. All right. I will see you tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Much love, y'all. Peace.